Yeah, but everyone abuses animals for things like, KFC and stuff.
Saying they deserve to be abused.
Of course.
We are using for food, they have no rights.
So if I breed a dog for food, I can do whatever I want to them, right?
I suppose.
We're on the same page. We do agree, right?
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that at all, man.
Surely. You surely agree with me.
No,
100%.
no way.
What is it about animals that makes you feel like they shouldn't be abused?
Well, they're sentient.
They're sentient.
Yeah, they have the ability to feel pain.
Yeah, but everyone abuses animals for things like, KFC and stuff. Like we have a right.
don't.
You don't?
No?
Why not?
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian. You don't believe that we have a right to abuse animals? Why is that? What is it about animals that makes you feel like they shouldn't be abused?
Well,
Let
they
me
have
ask you a question.
Sure.
as much right to
Make
be
me
here.
believe your mentality. So you're saying they deserve to be abused.
Of
right?
course, yeah. We as a society agree that this is the truth.
Is that just animals for food or is that all animals?
All animals, and obviously animals for food, because that's the main reason we're abusing animals, right?
So if
I'm already on your side, mate.
if a guy come walking up the road, right, and he was walking a dog, only a small little thing, you'd walk past and kick it.
Yeah, why not? If people have the right to buy KFC that necessitates like torture of animals in order to eat them for pleasure, right? Why can't I kick a dog for my own pleasure? Like, what's the difference?
One is we use animals for food.
Yeah. We abuse them for food.
The other is we use them for pets.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Those we are using for food, they have no rights.
They have no rights.
Nah,
Okay, so you do believe animals deserve to be abused, right?
no.
You just said they have absolutely no rights. So we
Now, food.
food. Yeah. So if I breed a dog for food, I can do whatever I want to them, right?
I suppose.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. We're on the same page. We do agree, right?
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that at all, man.
So you would support factory farming as well, I guess, because if they're bred for food, then they have absolutely no rights. So there's no point.
Different levels, man.
Okay.
Animals for food,
Mm.
I don't believe they have a right.
Okay.
Okay?
Can you?
If we're raising something to be our pet, to be part of a family, I think they do have a right.
So how do we determine the difference between the two? Just because they're bred for food, and let's say, no, I changed my mind, I want it as a pet. How come now all of a sudden that animal has rights? So there's nothing you can actually point out that would determine whether an animal has rights or not, right? In your view. Because fair enough if you haven't really thought about this kind of process before, but I'm just trying to figure out what your logic is to support the fact that animals deserve to be abused.
Let me ask you a question. You ever had a pet
Yeah, of course.
when you were younger?
Yeah.
When you were a kid?
Yeah. My parents have a cat now, and I grew up with another cat before that.
You rocked up to your parents' place and started kicking it around the house. Did
Yeah.
your mum be happy with you?
No, not at all. But then at the same time, my mum would give me food that was produced from factory farmed animals who suffered their whole lives. And there was no question about it at all. And for the same end goal, the result, like obviously the person abusing the animal, like Kurt Zuma, did it for their own pleasure, right? And at the end of the day, if we're eating animals, let's be honest, the end goal is for your own pleasure because they taste nice. Like that's literally the main reason why people are eating animals, right?
Far up. So, I grew up on a farm. Part of growing up on the farm was we used to go out hunting, for pig, deer. It never once did it cross our mind that once we had seen something we were going to kill, we weren't going to kill it because it was there for food. That's something you need to make people aware of. What is the transition from a pet to food?
Well, yeah, that's the question I proposed to you. Can you define that transition? Can you define the trait?
I've got it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Love.
Love. Does the love that comes from outside to the animal make any difference to the individual animal? So let's say, it's easy to say it because we're on the outside looking in to these animals, right? Now, if you were to take yourself and truly think about the victim's perspective on this, if you were to be that animal that was raised for food and in your view have absolutely no rights, how would you feel about it?
If I was the animal,
Yeah,
what could I do, man? I'm an animal.
exactly, right? Exactly. But how would you feel about it? Because did you choose to be born in this body you are in now? No? Do you think that animals choose to be born in whatever body they become in? No. So why should we discriminate and hurt others based on factors that they can't control? Do you think that's a good thing that we should be doing?
Okay, if we're going to get into this, then I think I don't really know how to put it. I know what it says in my mind, but I just don't know how to construct it.
That's all right. You can take your time or try to explain it best you can. Up to you, man. But it's good that you're at least trying to think about this seriously.
The way that I look at it, they're my pet, and I've raised it
Mm-hmm.
to be a companion for me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, to be like a mate.
So maybe it's about having like a certain bond to another. Yeah,
Like a love.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
But obviously you don't hold that view for other people's pets, right? Like I don't love everyone else's pets.
No, that's different. They love it. They
Yeah,
love
yeah,
them.
yeah.
So that's the same as me. You know?
I guess the shared experience that you understand, right? So it seems to me that like, because you said before that you wouldn't mind if a dog was raised for food and we could literally do anything to it because it doesn't have rights because it's been raised for food.
Okay, well in Thailand, you know, they're still eating dogs, man.
Yeah, I know that.
No,
And that's no different from people here eating other animals.
chicken.
Yeah, yeah. There's absolutely no morally relevant difference between those two things. But the relevant difference is that we don't have to eat animals to be happy or healthy. Therefore, if it's not a necessity, then we're saying that animals deserve to be abused for our own pleasure.
Yeah, see, I disagree with that. I
Why?
see where you're coming from, but I disagree.
How would you disagree though, is my
Um,
question.
I think it depends on what the animal was raised for.
Yeah. So like we said, it depends on what they were raised for, but obviously, like you and I, we didn't choose the body that we were born in. Those animals never chose the body that they were born in either. So why would we choose to harm them based on a factor that they cannot control? Just in the same way that black people were discriminated for the color of their skin, it's a factor that you obviously can't control. So why? It has no relevance, basically. People plainly understand racism as we are all humans, that's why racism is wrong.
Fish.
No.
Are you strictly a vegetarian?
No, vegetarians don't do anything to help animals. I'm a human. I'm just against animal abuse, mate. So what I'm promoting here basically is animal rights. The only way that we can give animals rights is to boycott the industries that take away their rights. I'm actually showing it on the screen over there if you want to have a look at it. You said you grew up on a farm, right? Yeah. What animals did you guys raise?
Oh, everything.
Everything?
Had cows, pigs.
Cows, pigs, chickens?
Well, see how you cut off their tail?
Mm-hmm.
We do that to lambs.
Yeah. Fly strike,
Fry
right?
Fry them up. Bit of salt.
Yeah.
Lamb's tails.
Yeah. So I guess you kind of have to agree that animals deserve to be abused in that regard. Like if we're going to do whatever we want to some animals, just because we think they taste nice, then obviously, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing I disagree on. If we class them as food, of course, you know,
But you haven't given me a reason why classing them as food would be any different from classing them as a pet.
love
Yeah. That love has absolutely no.
or the bond.
Yeah. But you know, if we said the same thing about humans, right? Like if we raised humans for food in that same regard, and we said that, okay, these humans are never going to feel any love, would we say that they don't deserve any rights? Because we're not going to give them love? No, right? Yeah. So the thing is that you probably believe that humans have an intrinsic right to not be abused, to not be open to unnecessary harm from someone, eh?
Oh, it depends, man.
Depends. You do believe that there are some cases where humans deserve to be abused unnecessarily?
Example, you know, a really bad man
Yeah, but he gets fed, he just gets to live his life. I would argue that people who commit crimes like pedophilia and all of those horrible things get treated better than animals who have done absolutely nothing to deserve anything.
You have to remember where we came from.
You mean like back in time when we used to eating animals and stuff?
Yeah.
Like for survival?
I'm talking about the times of the Neanderthal. Part of it was protein, meat, eating meat.
It was more calories actually. It wasn't strictly to do with protein. But either way, regardless, let's say it was protein, that doesn't apply now because we have science that understands that we can be happy and healthy on a plant-based diet. So it's not a necessity at all.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. So that absolutely does not apply. But in the same regard, if we were to say like, we should focus on our past, if we want to become more civilized as a society, why would we look at the barbaric things that we did in our past to determine what we should do at the moment, We also murdered each other just on the spot without thought. We didn't have things like laws, all of those things,
only about 1,000 years ago, we were eating each other here in this country.
Exactly, but that has, we've evolved from that because we realized that hurting each other unnecessarily is wrong. Now, at times, people did that for their survival, right? In this case, people are paying for animals to be abused on such a massive scale when it's completely unnecessary in Auckland City, in our time right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just saying this is the truth of society. Basically, the only way to prove me wrong is to boycott the industries that abuse animals. And those are all the industries that provide animal products to people. So I'm promoting animal rights, and the solution is a vegan lifestyle, because it's the only lifestyle that doesn't abuse animals intentionally. And that's really the only way to disagree with the sign that I proposed there. And you see, all these people are walking past, and they look at it and they're like, nah, that's not right. But it's something that they've collectively agreed with the products that they buy. Because if we look at the screen there, everyone would obviously say that's abuse. And that's exactly what they pay for to happen when they buy animal products, right? Yeah. Yeah. So now you have the knowledge and the power. I'm not sure if you are against animal abuse, but if you are, you have the chance to make a difference in these animals' lives,
Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll think about it, mate.
Thank you very much for the conversation, sir.